no, it's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to have you here and speak to you today. Do you run one of the sessions this morning?
Yes, just finished.
How did it go?
Yeah, it was really good. The room was full. It was exciting. It was dynamic, a bit interactive. It went really well.
All the things you want it to be?
Yeah.
What was the premise of it? What were you hoping them to get away from it?
So I was showcasing AI tools within design education and within creativity, not just design education, but creative use cases. A lot of image generation, video generation, asset generation, and a workflow that goes from a sketch to a render to a model to 3D printing. So it's kind of the design journey.
Amazing.
Enhanced with AI.
Are you doing it again this afternoon?
Yes.
I am, hopefully. My master, Mr. Weems, keeps me very busy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm joking, by the way. Matt. Hopefully I'll be able to pop into that this afternoon. But I do have a question about that. So I've got some questions, different design questions here. And the first one is about AI versus human creativity.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's very pertinent to what I've been talking about this morning.
So with the tools like ChatGPT, we've got Midjourney, just multimodal full stop, and they're generating designs in seconds. Are we at risk of diminishing the value of human creativity in design education?
Yes. We are at risk of that. And I think that the problem is that we can't ignore the fact that it's here, the horse is bolted. So we have to integrate it in a way that still enhances creativity and works with the creativity of the designer or the artist. So yes, I do have concerns about copyright, for example. I do have concerns around scraping the internet for somebody's style. However, having said that, I think that it can enhance creativity. So if you imagine that you're a designer and you already have a foundation of good design, then you're able to put AI as sort of a polish on top of that and push your ideas even further. And I don't necessarily believe that AI can make everybody a good designer overnight, because you still need the foundational knowledge of what it takes to make something a strong, good design first. So I think that if you're already creative, it can really enhance your communication of that creativity.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a scenario based on this, and I'm hoping my research is right. So a little bit about your background.
Yep.
And I'm hoping we'll see this, theatre design.
Yes, it was, yeah.
So the scenario here is a theatre design revival.
Right.
So given your background in theatre design, how would you incorporate traditional hands-on design methods into a curriculum increasingly dominated by AI and digital tools?
That's a really good question. And actually, I've just shown a workflow in my session that was, I took a sketch that I had done in my previous life as a theatre designer. I went to RADA in 2007, 2009. Yeah, between those years. And I had some drawings that I had done for a show that we were putting on. And I was a theatre designer, so I designed the set and the costumes, and I worked with the actors and dressed them, and we worked with the backstage crew. And I took these drawings and I put them into Newark.ai, and they put my drawings into real life with a model in them. And then I'm able to take those drawings and the model and put them into the new Black AI and give that character attitude. And she, in this case, could then pop a hip and move and be the character. So I was a professional designer and I didn't have those tools available to me, but I was thinking that if I had those tools, would I have used them? Or would it have diminished anything? And I don't think it would have diminished anything. I think it would have added to my toolkit, and it would have added to my ability to communicate. And communication in design education and design full stop is massive, because if we're a design mind or a creative mind, we have all of these ideas in our heads, and we want to share them with the world. And a lot of what design education is yes, it's educating how to come up with those ideas, but it's also educating how to communicate those ideas out. And AI can support with that communication so much. It can, and I think that if I went back and did my theatre design time I would sit with the director and show them that video of the character moving in the outfit, and then I would be able to say, here you can see that she would embody this persona, she would embody this mood, and the fabric hangs on her in a certain way, and I can show that, and I know that, and that's why I've picked those fabrics and those colours and those materials, but I can physically communicate that to the director or to the actor that's going to play the character. So I would think it would be a polish on top. And to be honest, back when I was working in the theatre, I was always pushing the boundaries. I used Photoshop a lot. I used, overlays a lot, and video in live productions a lot. So I was always trying to push technology far. And I think that I would definitely have adopted it in my process.
Yeah, I think even in terms of, let's say, photography, I can't remember the last time, and this is always the conversation, I'd probably uploaded an unedited photo, like Photoshop or Adobe Lightroom or any of those things. It almost seems like a natural progression to assist with, like you mentioned there, it's an assistant tool, something that can help showcase ideas for maybe visual learners or other types of learners to support that. Okay, you get my idea type of thing, rather than, hey, I'm trying to sell you and pitch this to you and this is the drawing I've got and you're not getting it type of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so with students of product design, I had A-level students that were producing beautiful drawings, but they still lacked confidence when it came to the pitch or delivering those drawings to their clients. So then if they put them into a image-to-image AI generator and rendered their own work into materials that might be really tricky to render. So, for example, if you're rendering something in Chrome, it's incredibly hard to do with Pro markers or because of the reflective quality of the material. But if you can get a photographic realization of your sketch with Chrome, and then you can sit with your client and say, this is what it will look like. It just gives that confidence and it gives that ability to communicate. And it's still their own idea. Obviously, there are huge ramifications and issues when it comes to overuse cases and students who may skip steps and jump ahead. But then I think it's up to the educator to say, hang on a second, this isn't a robust design idea. Let's go back to the idea. It's great finish, but let's pull it all back to the beginning.
And that brings me to this question, because one of the things we're talking about in assessments wholeheartedly across schools is about portfolios. And obviously with the subjects you teach, portfolios have always been a natural thing. So in this scenario, we've got an AI generated portfolio. So a student submits a design portfolio entirely created using AI tools like Midjourney, DALL-E. How would you assess their understanding then of design principles, and what does this mean for evaluating creativity?
I think that would have to come down to a conversation with the student over the work and say, okay, so you have designed this product here. Talk me through the process, but also talk me through why you've designed it the way you have. Like, let's unpick the target market. Let's unpick the ergonomics. Why are the anthropometrics the way they are? And understand the reasons behind the design that the student has produced with support from AI. I would be a little nervous if a portfolio was presented to me and it was all Midjourney and image generated images, when there are other tools available that are a little bit more integrated into the design process. I think if there was computer-aided design that had AI supporting it, I would potentially say, well, they're using something in their workflow that's with AI, but it's also part of the design process. Or if they'd got an asset that was designed that was three-dimensional, that they'd used AI to create from a sketch or from a model, then I would see that they had gone through the whole process. But I think that it has to be recognised that it's just a tool to the process, and that there are many different ways to formulate your design ideas. And you could formulate your design ideas digitally in computer-aided design or with AI, but you could also formulate your design ideas with a bit of blue tack and masking tape and a bit of cardboard or the back of a serviette. So I think that if I was presented with a portfolio that just had one type of communication in it, whatever that type of communication was, I'd say, hang on a second, you need to prove to me that you can use all the other tools in your arsenal. Where are all the other tools? Even if it was a portfolio just of blue tack and masking tape. So I think that it's not really about the AI. I think it would be about the hyper-focus on one thing.
Wonderful, thank you. And finishing off with this, talking about design.
Okay.
So we've got, it's not the song question.
It's all right if you do.
It's another story, by the way. Oh, you prepped. Paddy's giving the game away. No, it's this one. So I want you to think if you had an AI assistant who started giving unsolicited fashion advice. Okay. What absurd outfit would it suggest for you in your next lecture?
Oh, that's such a good question. Unsolicited fashion advice. Well, I'm wearing all black today, but a lot of my clothes are very loud and bright, so I think it would probably suggest something very, very colourful. What would it suggest do you mean if I was offended by it? What would
Let's
it suggest?
Let's go with that one, yeah.
Oh, I don't know, something to cover up maybe. Actually, no, you know what it would be? It would be something with a lot of pockets, and all the pockets would be labelled because I lose everything. And I also drink a lot of energy drinks to keep going, so they'd probably be Red Bull shaped pockets around, and yeah, a lot of labelled things and chains attached to me with all of my belongings. So
maybe this afternoon we'll try rendering something like this and see what it looks like. Actually,
let's do it.
Well, Trudi, it's been an absolute pleasure, and someone I wanted to speak to for a long, long time, and just had insight about it. And I'm fascinated to come along this afternoon and see how this Red Bull /chain/pockets.
Let's try it, and it'll be bright yellow.
Amazing. Well, enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you ever so much.